First day of um, the initiation going into the Marine Corps,
Hmm.
and it's like so a sense of like this kind of condition to believe in going into it now. But when I was young, I felt like very in a place of honorance towards like my grandfather.
Hmm.
Uh, And but now like I've always have ancestral energy now, and I now know that. But going into this like initiation was very it was important. It
Hmm.
was also very unknown, somewhat scary, like not knowing.
Yeah.
Uh,
So be there now and
uh,
describe it for me so I can imagine what's happening there and everything that you feel and notice.
so we're on the bus and we have our heads down. We don't know exactly where we're going, and we drive for about an hour. We get off the bus and we run onto these yellow footprints. And on this yellow footprints, they have this like speech about the people before you had to walk on these same white footprints or these same golden footprints. And this is now the initiation to your journey in this fraternity. And then we go inside the building, and then right as soon as we get down the hallway, there's a barber shop, and they just chop off all your hair. And this all happening at 3 in the morning. And so the unknown, a little bit of like adrenaline in the system, as well as feeling somewhat tired. And then we go into and like receive all our gear, and they give us all this stuff, and we just plop in. No one's nice, everyone's really mean, and it feels in a very like initiation of some connection to my own soul of like of this warriorhood of
Hmm.
going into it. And I remember though once I finally got to lie down, um, it wasn't until the very next day because we were up for probably 72 hours, so 3 days, and finally going to bed and lying down. It was like the best sleep,
Mm.
only ever.
Mm.
Um, and then waking up and doing it again. But I felt like that was very important for a piece of me to develop to who I am today.
Yeah. Beautiful. Thank you for sharing with me. Take another deep breath and look around you. Tell me if there's anything else that you noticed there.
I notice it's in San Diego,
Mm.
so it's very sunny and very it's just like that humidity. It's something about the humidity excites my body. Like my body just feels it's home. Like I love just the sweatness of coming into the hot air that's humid, and I'm able to like have my skin feel like it's able to breathe in this like wetness environment. And I remember even though like my surroundings of I guess like my environment, more of my environment was like empowering towards the surrounding that I was stepping into. Like my surrounding was this fraternity, and um, I felt like I was able to hold myself and be at home, even though this energy was like very foreign at the same time. Like, um, because it was just a moment in my life where I felt like I wanted to do something and uh, get out of the state I was in Idaho,
Yeah.
and and it was very just like excitement, a lot of excitement, So seeing all these palm trees and these old buildings and these men that were ferocious.
Mm-hmm.
So some of the most very terrifying people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. but but it was very at the same time a place for me to not to be able to learn to be lighthearted in situations.
Mm.
Mhm.
Beautiful. Very good. Thank you for sharing with me. So now you can to another important day, to another turning point in your life that have important information. Arriving there now. You are there, and you can continue from there. Where are you? Clear.
I feel like I'm free floating in space.
Mm-hmm.
Just I'm like circling around this asteroid,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm nothing in particular. It's like looking at my body, and it's like I'm some kind of very primal life form.
Mm-hmm.
So like an amoeba or like a some kind of
Yeah.
very small, and it's very small, but it's circling around this meteorite that's or asteroid that's just floating in space.
Beautiful. Continue describing it in details as soon as you see it, everything that you noticed.
It is there's silver, like a silver reflection inside of this meteor, and there's like other different life forms as well that are also like moving with it, like the orbit of this asteroid,
Mm-hmm.
and we're trailing across the solar system. And it's unknown. It's nothing I've seen before. It's not like Earth
Mm-hmm.
or Earth's source system. It's like a lot of like red, reddish planets, like a lot of them. There's more red planets than anything,
Mm-hmm.
and some of it like red and blue. But it's looks like there's four of them in front of me right now,
Beautiful.
and then the sun or the star,
Mm-hmm. Very good.
and uh,
Continue. Tell me more.
and there's a stream of dust or ice coming off of it the closer we get to this star.
Mm-hmm.
And the star is more of a blue flame. It has like and it like shoots out solar flares
Mm-hmm.
that are very, they're pretty powerful. Like it reaches out to the second planet,
Mm-hmm.
and and so I'm feeling like maybe this is a dying star, and because it is expanding quite big too. Like it's just a strong pulse from the star.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and none of the planets have moons. There's no moons on the planets.
Okay. Thank you for sharing. What else do you notice?
I'm noticing the asteroid's now coming close to the fourth planet, and it's caught in its orbit,
Mm-hmm.
and it's circling around. And if I fast forward a
Mm-hmm.
little bit, it will collide with that planet,
Mm-hmm.
and this has like it's a mixture of red, white, and blue, kind of planet. And then once this asteroid hits the planet, the white opens up. So it's like an ice cap. And the life forms then dive into this this water like substance.
Mm-hmm.
And feeling like a sense of like birthing process that's happening.
Beautiful. Tell me more.
It feels that like a new sense. I feel again this newness in this environment, and then I almost like a hesitancy though, because anything that I reach out in this like amoebo substance me, that it's not fully attracted yet. You know, it contracts away.
Mm-hmm.
So I noticed I was staying with this meteorite around me, and what feels like I must like give it time to fully integrate into this planet and allow them to come to me rather me go to them. And the immunity or the ability to be able to come together with those life forms and the life form that I am as a new life form on their planet to come together in balance.
Mm. Beautiful. So describe more of this process. What's happening next?
Over time, slowly and slowly, the life force around this planet will start to surround the meteorite and be created as one with the planet. So through time and being able to use what life form from the meteorite will in sync with life forms on this planet in a very like because some of them don't fully or able or capable to make it because of like the structure of the planet. So like there's like too much sulfur. It smells very sulfuric with like this white gas
Mm-hmm.
and like some die off.
Mm-hmm.
But I've noticed I've been able to stay alive with these life forms
Mm-hmm.
long enough. And so now I'm abilities to then be able to start leaving the meteorite and coming into contact with these other primal life forms.
Mm-hmm.
These primal life forms have definitely more like a flow, a fluidity. They're like liquid beings, and it's more of a place of again witnessing. I'm not entirely fully interacting with them because we're not quite yet on the same wavelength. I feel like I'm more of this metal energy.
Mm-hmm.
It's more like tin, but
Mm-hmm.
it's not like them where they're like fluid and they like circle around me and they make me into like this bubble or surround me like in a bubble.
Yeah.
And and but they're very interested and they would like, you know, to have me feel welcomed.
Yeah.
And so through time though, because I feel like I'm drawn back to the meteorite at a certain time.
Yeah.
So I will go back to it. But I begin to create a more harmonious relationship with this fluid people and are able to stay out longer through time.
Mm-hmm.
And as time goes on, uh, the the fluid people begin to formulate a way of communicating, and that's through a sense of colors. Certain colors resonate with a certain feeling or a certain expression and into communicating.
Yeah. Can you elaborate more? Tell me more.
A strong emerald green comes up when I speak to these people, and like this sense of like, I don't know how to say it words, but just emerald green, and that it resonates in allowing them to then know my intention. And I feel like the emerald green is like the intention of why I came there,
Mm-hmm.
is to allow, like, I guess, a sense of like evolution amongst their planet, and um, to allow like whatever integration process that is needed in the time for our paths to cross to then be um, integrated and understood to who are encountering one another.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing. So let's continue and see what's happening next.
And then finally take me to like this more like the capital area energy of it all. And it's where I feel like the heart of this like civilization is. And like, and it's meeting with like this like oracle energy of finding one's purpose on this new life form. And it looks like in creating through integrating with one another, and that's finding a sense of welcoming and welcoming into this energy. And then I see this energy open up inside the asteroid or the comet. The asteroid, it opens up this like brilliant white energy, and it's like a almost like a flower now. And now that I feel it, I feel like the asteroid is like a seed that's been planted onto this planet, and I'm one of the tiny little seedlings as well that came with the asteroid.
Mm-hmm.
And so in essence, like it's a birthing process, and if anything, it looks like I guess the asteroid would be considered a semen, and the planet would be considered a womb.
Mm-hmm.
And the source of whatever energy we came from,
Mm-hmm.
we are now created in this intention, and the intention is coming from this emerald green energy that is feeling inspired and co-creating, and is actually now churning this white light energy is now churning the planet green. And it's oh, and it's not a dying star. It's actually, since it's blue flame, so so like a white dwarf. So it's a smaller, it's the beginning of the solar system. Um, but yes, now this energy is now creating. And first, there's like a lot of destruction, but then because there's like this ups and downs, and like the emotional capability isn't really there. It's just like as if this is a part of the plan, but there's like a lot of death, and then through the death is rebirthing. And um, I'm seeing that all around me, and I'm seeing also like this newness or a new essence of life coming through.
So beautiful, fascinating. Tell me more. Continue describing. You're doing very well.
Um,
What's
and
happening next?
from this gas and liquid mixture comes like rain, And like now we're creating a an atmosphere. I feel like through this life force, through this seedling that's been penetrating into this seed, and we're beginning to grow. We're growing all sorts of plants, fruits, um, this sense of like essence of all things that we see today. So it's like encapsulating all this fresh air and then these life forms that I am also evolving and shifting, and I become and dying and reborn into slowly but surely the next life form and the next life form that is constantly having to shift with the earth. I feel like it may be earth.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so, and now and it becomes so beautiful. Like this, a gorgeous garden of all of the fruits and all of its splendor and all of the smells and the blue skies and this essence of energy that's been looking out, you know, the reason of this divine will towards this meteorite striking this planet into creating this balancing act of life and death. And then I come into existence through this life form of through years of like witnessing and then putting forth in intention, witnessing and then putting forth intention. And uh, I've been like guided by this to do this. And it is a being, I feel that is one of the beings that sent this asteroid to this planet in a place to experiment and to witness and to see. And I feel very heart centered with this being. It's almost as if this being is a nurturer. Being is very slender, very long. Um, its eyes have a curious look, though, like an inner child look. It's not like it's very like a kind look. Like it wants. It's as if someone that's inspired and like witnessing a butterfly, but it's not like helping the butterfly. It just allows the butterfly do its thing and get out of the cocoon, and is like cheering on that butterfly to get out of the cocoon and to spread its wings and fly.
Mm-hmm.
This being is now watching me become into a human body to the extent of the word, and um, and is formulated from the ground, from the essence of this earth, and at the same time created another equal counterpart, but of again a a being that is, you know, obvious opposite in gender, like the other aspect in this like coercive formulation of life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Tell me more. It sounds
And
beautiful.
she is very um I am in my body and I feel very like strong and sturdy and like this foundation,
Mm-hmm.
a foundation of like who I am and this an essence of like devotion towards this life that's been given to me, and I feel very strongly passionate towards it, wanting to know and discover, to witness and see what this world's splendor is. And having this other person by my side, she has a more Mm, more of an energy that's foreign to me. It's I would describe it darker. It would be a little bit more of the darkness, but only from a place that's like masculine, that's when it's feminine, or from light to dark, or from day to night. I feel it's not foreign, but in fact just a different view to the coin of life.
Mm-hmm.
And this is from from being in this like really masculine body, like this masculine body that wants to like, and it's like first the first like it feels like the first man,
Mm-hmm.
and and conveying with this being, because now that through time, this being, this long slender being, has now became more of a um, being that communicates throughout visuals. It comes through communication like telekinesis or through speaking to the mind.
Mm-hmm.
And when conveying with it, it is teaching like a loving father. And it sees us both as a son and a daughter.
Mm-hmm.
And just like family is within the masculine and the feminine, there is the sense of inner conflicts at times.
Yeah.
I see myself not trying to. I guess there is a domineering essence that wants to dominate,
Yeah.
and but there isn't that in her, where she also too wants not to be submissive but to dominate as well.
Mm-hmm.
And
So
we both
you feeling a
go ahead.
conflict between your energies and her and your intentions and your behaviors.
In a way, yeah, like she's she takes more power in flight during one part of the day or the night, and then I take more flight in my power during the day.
Mm-hmm.
And but when we like connect, when we're in our power, but the other person isn't, there's this hard like sense of friction in towards understanding one another, and it's like we're speaking different languages.
Yeah.
Mm.
Tell me more. Be there in those events, in those days, and tell me another important day in that lifetime. Let's arrive to another important day in that life. Be there now and continue from there.
So important day in that life. There was a time where she I cast aside the magic she was, and I didn't see it and believe in it because I couldn't understand it. And I was in my own studies with what I was learning through the day, and she felt hurt that I wasn't in that place with her in the night where she was learning so much. And there was a bit of like zealous or maybe like jealousy energy that came up inside of my being at that time. And I made a sabotage like way of like getting the energy away from me and like speaking and conveying with higher spirit and how to in essence control that energy. And that was very disturbing for her. She felt betrayed and she wanted to take flight and fly away, go somewhere else. be gone. And that was a pivotal moment where we took that sense of the word space away from one another and then made a shift through our own collective thinking for one another and to being in a place for one another. I feel like that was the great split between maybe a split within, yes, for ourselves to then realize, like, that was the day I realized my own feminine of energy through that split. By having her out of the picture, I was able to dive deeper in this feminine energy of my own. And the first time this masculine energy was able to realize that feminine energy also lives within you.
Hmm, beautiful. Can you elaborate about what would cause the jealousy energy that came within you? Can you be there now and tell me what's happened?
The sensual energy, the sensual, like very sexual with with ways you're able to connect. She was connecting with like the trees or with fruit or with like the deer or with anything. It was just like not like sexual, like actual sex, but like more like just this deep like sense of like this love effect
Hmm.
of like these other parts of them that when I tap into it, I feel at the time I was not able to feel that feeling the same like sensual energy with nature and like being able to just feel all this like love essence. For me, I felt like it was a guidance of um, love, but not in a way that like love where it activated my body. It
Yeah,
was like the love of this like open heartedness of like wanting to know,
yeah,
the love to wanting to know, and um, I feel like that was the jealousy was that I could see how turned on she was to the world and how like it was almost kept secret, but at the same time it wasn't kept secret. She was trying to show me the ways by being it and
yeah,
by being that expression.
yeah. So for her, it was just a pleasurable experience that you could not feel, and for you, it was more like intellectual connection that you were feeling with nature, and
Hmm
you um really were, yeah, I can understand that you wanted to have that experience like her. And so what were you doing that caused her to feel frightened or wanting to leave the situation? What caused this um, conflict between you in the way it was expressed and delivered?
It was expressed in a place of there was anger and uh like very dramatic energy of like pushing her away
Can
in
you
a
be
way of
there
like
now? Be there in that moment and describe what's happening as it happens. Arriving to that time now and
so it's
continue from
dark,
that. Mhm.
it's dark. Um, the moon is lit. She's being sensual and sexual and is is almost like guiding me into this. And at the same time, it's a guidance, but there's like this undertone of mockery, like as if I am incapable of, and it just infuriates me. It gets me so angry that I just like I have enough of this. I will return to my own place of the day and and your and I belittle her. And it's very childish energy. and she's hurt. She's scorned. She feels scorned. Um, she feels like so strongly emotionally that she wants to like leave
Yeah.
and curse me out of her life.
Yeah.
And she takes flight in the night. She utters these words, and to the moon, to the sky, and to all things to be witness, to bear witness to what she declares to become, and she leaves.
What did you hear her declaring?
It was declaring, uh, it's not really, can't really hear it right now.
Hmm. What's your sense of it?
It's a bit dark for sure. It goes to the core of her being, core of her root, core of her um, of the darkness essence that she embraces, and it's also allowed. It's allowed. It's not necessarily like something I shun, but something I witness. But I don't tread that water because I wish not to. And she decides to tread that water and to um, become something in it of herself, become something for herself, in choosing this path.
Hmm. I understand. Sounds very intense experience to feel her being so within her rage, choosing to go separate ways in that way.
Mm.
Yeah. Okay, so I'd love to learn more about that situation and this life. And let's close that scene and stay in that life and move to the next important day in that life. Day there's
Mm.
information. Be there now and continue from there. Where are you?
I'm now sitting in the garden alone, and I am conveying with spirit, and I'm wanting to open up a pathway of this new discovered self. So through this rage, I've witnessed my own rage in the reflection of like this feminine darkness, but as well as like my masculine sturdiness. And is it willing to hold it? Is it willing to hold it as a foundation? Hold myself in the and being a foundation and being a pillar. And I convey and pray in what that looks like, what that feels like. How can like these energies be in balance? And I decide to go out and be able to align with what it is to be of the night. And I begin a practice in the night in creating and opening up a sense of like pieces of myself, of this younger, of this very freshly new species of me, to be opening up these other parts, to then allow it to be filled in by the night, by the moon. And I see myself now witnessing and feeling those same sensual urges of nature to then risen inside of me and become in essence with it, with the planet, the earth. Feel a sense of gratitude, no less
Hmm.
lessons that come um,
Doing very well. Continue. Yeah.
and allow myself to open up and let out. It's like a purge of my own, of like of planting the seed into the ground, allowing the nourishment to flow and spill onto the soil until then allow what may be a beautiful tree to arisen,
Mm-hmm.
a fruitful tree. Um, and, but I feel that I want to experience or this experience of building this tree or creating this tree with all that is, with the great spirit as well as with the spirit um, that is that is the creator, but as well as with the being that the creator also created, um, with the other individual, the other being. And it's been, years since we've been able to open up and allow that sense of understanding. So I meditate and I pray by this tree and continue to do so. And then one day she comes back and I'm able to sit with this ferociousness energy. She's At first it was strong and like energetically very powerful, but then when she saw me and I saw her, we're able to tap into this like sense of mutual frequency, a sense of um, peace in one's heart. And I ask if it if in setting the intention of building this tree, can we nourish it in a way that's allowing both to be able to do it together?
And nourish it in what way? That allowed to do it together? I missed the word.
Nourish it in a way of giving our body towards this like sacrament way of like allowing this our essence to then go into the roots of this tree.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful.
Mm.
Tell me more. Describe what is happening as it happens.
As we open up our beings, we pour into this light liquid flow into the soil, and it's sinking and swirling together down into the roots, and it's flourishing, allowing the roots then to really grow and to really expand and to really rise. There's a sense of joy in her eyes. There's a sense of hope in my heart. And then I'm able to then declare a sense of marriage towards myself in this sacrament of giving myself to this tree and calling into this being to see this like marriage of self in the ceremony and agreeance of like of sense of like respect and seeing one another and being able to grow just as all the plants in the life of this planet, to be able to move and to change with the seasons, to rise and give birth and to die old patterns, old feelings. Seeing a sense of embrace inside of this being and allowing this energy to then enwrap me, and I unwrapped it. I enter inside of it, and, and it's as if like a bat in a cave. What
Mm-hmm.
comes to mind?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm feeling like a very earthly womb, and that's like um, bringing forth this new essence of who of possibilities.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful. Tell me more. What's your becoming there? What's happening?
Um, Inside of this womb, inside this cave, I'm I'm creating magic, beautiful artwork of beautiful sounds, creating wisdom. She's I'm also understanding and allowing myself to be not only a teacher but a student, and then we be students to this higher spirit, and allowing the sense of draw of who we are. She's a bit of a rebel and has an energetic flow of wanting to, um, you know, not to be subservient, but be her own master.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't see it in that way. I don't see it as being. She sees it as him being a master, and I see it more as a being of order. So like a judge or someone that's trustworthy of this power. Like I feel I am young to this life form, and that this being can show me the way. And
Mm-hmm.
and she's because of the initiation that we took with the tree, she's
Because
able
what?
to
Can you say it again?
because of the initiation we did with the tree,
Yeah.
we were able to come in agreement of being able to respect one another
Yeah.
where we come from with that energy. So she's she's learning as well and opening up and being able to also convey in communication what's truly desired and truly wanted in a place to grow just as the tree.
Beautiful. So you mentioned that this tree was kind of created also with, you mentioned something about the other beings that are also um, were in consideration while you created this tree, while you were creating that seed of this tree.
Mhm.
Can you elaborate more about that creation of the seed of this tree and what brought you to create this tree? Let's go to that time and this moment and understand this meaning of the creation of this tree even more.
So, in creating with this tree, I sent in intention with these other beings and asking them if I can create this tree. And this tree would be of power, not power, but of like wisdom. And, and I wanted to create this tree under their guidance.
Yeah.
Yeah. And but I also wanted to under with under their guidance create this tree and to bring a sense of balance in creating it. So bring the other person involved, but with that person, with these life forms, with these spirits, um, they they also were honoring that, and they honored my intention in creating this tree and why creating this tree. And I suppose the tree is a symbol towards unifying life on this planet, of being a treaty in a way, or a pact to grow and expand. And that was my intention with these beings, was this tree is to help find balance.
Mm.
And it's like a harmony. This tree can be a tree where you can sit under and you can find harmony inside yourself, inside this vessel,
Mm.
and being able to marry yourself, to marry your vessel in a place with unconditional love. From there, being able to grow and expand and open for new life to come through off from this tree. Let new seedlings come and allow us to again flourish the ground and to continue growing.
Thank you for sharing with me. Can you share with me more about the beings that you were collaborating about this tree? Who are those beings?
See, they're they're white, very light. So they were long and slender, but then they become like a light, and uh, once they gave me the abilities to feel into a body and no longer be like an amoeba. They
Mm-hmm.
left their bodies and became light. And then they took on a new role and no longer necessarily controlling, like not controlling, but being more of a witness and observer towards the experience that they allowed to be birthed into. So, and and learning from them is more so learning through the intelligence of what would be like a teacher to a student, just like this patience,
Mm-hmm.
energy, and patience, and this sense of trust and that belief in that child to learn and to grow and to become, the next evolution and the next step
Okay.
in becoming. Yeah.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much. Let's take a deep breath. And I'd like to speak with Jordan Higher Self, please. May I speak with Jordan Higher Self?
I'm here.
Thank you so much. I'm hearing Jordan scratching. Can you start to heal his body, please? And we can start to learn more about um, all the healing that available for him today.
Mm-hmm. I will too.
Thank you. Um, can you share with me a little bit what you're doing as you do it when you start the healing?
I have one hand on the back of my head, and then I have another hand, my right hand, on my forehead, and I'm just visualizing that white golden light energy flowing on top of my head and going down. And it sinks down to my umbilical cord that sinks to the core of the earth. And I'm allowing any energy that no longer serves to be pulled down to the core of the earth and to be released and rejuvenate the aura of this being, of my vessel, of this earth. I'm moving this energy, shimmering it around my arms, sending so much unconditional love to all the skin cells, to all the blood cells, to all the bones, allowing it to emerge and then come into a place of happiness and harmony, and feeling empowered, and feeling the body to trust itself, to trust its system.
Very good. Let's take another deep breath. rose, relaxing more and more, deeper and deeper. And let's drift and float to a healing temple, the most appropriate healing temple for Jordan, when he can meet his council of guides and he can receive healing and information. Drifting and floating to a healing temple now and arriving there now. Be there now
Mm.
and start describe this place for me.
And this beautiful, like, longhouse. It's like a very long hallway, big, not hallway, but like what do you call? It's not like a dining hall, but it's almost like a giant dance floor, and it's like the the temple priest and priestesses there. It's dance. They dance in order to convey with spirit, and they heal through dancing, and they heal through chanting and singing.
Mm-hmm.
And the land is very tropical. It's very lush, green, waterfalls, ocean nearby. Um, it feels like we've gained this momentum of harnessing energy through setting the intention with our prayers and our dance. And that's how this culture is. This culture is based purely in this healing capability of our dance.
Mm. It's
And that's
amazing, beautiful. So describe what is happening as it happens.
so in our ceremony, we're all dancing around in this vibrant colors, and we're dancing to a calling of the seasons. We're dancing towards this energy of celebration, towards the divine oneness of this light, with this light that penetrated this earth. We're able to sing, able to move, able to join everybody together, and it feels definitely like more family like vibes. Like everyone loves everyone, and it's not in a place of loving towards self, but a very selfless love.
Mm-hmm.
Like we're not, you know, it's not a lot of, it's not a feast. It's not like feast and
Mm-hmm.
eating and drinking and more. It's not about the pleasure. It's more about the simple ecstatic bliss of life and being able to dance into this life.
Beautiful. So tell me
And
about those energies that you feel as you do that. What do
as
you
we
feel?
dance,
Mm-hmm.
I feel this light come into this room, come into the temple,
Mm-hmm.
and it feels the entire temple, and it feels our vessels as well, and we feel very clear and conscious and very like aware of the direction and where we're taking as a people, as a
Mm-hmm.
society.
Mm-hmm.
And that is our, like I said, that is our everything, is this moment here,
Mm-hmm.
and being able to just embrace spirit through our dance in this heart-centered love that is connected with our family as one, and and we and we're able to be in that place. We're connected. We're all connected. We're able to look into the eyes of our beloveds and hold them as our dear ones.
Mm-hmm.
And and it's pure. It's very pure. It's very in a place of just wanting absolute beautiful magic for one another and miracles to happen for one another.
Mm-hmm.
And and a heart-centered place to just wanting it not only for ourselves, but for the land and for the fishes and for the animals, the plants.
Mm.
We convey with spirit through a place, and by doing this worship, we allow ourselves to then become bridges and building these bridges towards um, towards a divine ancestral love.
Mm. Wow, that sounds wonderful. So enjoy this place, enjoy it, and allow yourself to stay there for the healing and rest into it and allow the energy to flow through you. And as you rest into this place, I'd like to invite your higher self to integrate into your body now, so I may speak with it and ask some questions. May I
Okay.
speak with the higher self, please?
Yes.
Thank you so much for doing this beautiful and having such a beautiful information and session. I know that you have all the information for all the things that ever happened to Jordan. And I'd like to ask you, why did you choose to show this beautiful asteroid that came into the Earth and seeded it in this way?
It's through this experience allows the integration of the trust in divine will and the trust of the process that takes hold. And then by trusting it, you believing in something that with progression, and believing in a place of hope that you can grow a tree and allow it to rise and expand, allow roots to sink deep into the earth, allowing this tree to know that it is always present, a tree of harmony that will, when you sit underneath it, gives you balance. And to remind Jordan that this tree is there and it lives in every tree. And just remembering that tree when you sit underneath any tree, you can find your balance.
Hmm. It's really beautiful. Tell me more about why you shared the story that you shared in the way that you did and how it will affect Jordan in the life that he's living now.
It's allows this sense of growth and this discipleship of learning and being a student and allowing your eyes and ears to hear and see the teacher that may not even be human, but may be just some spirit form that flows through everybody. Seeing that everyone is, in essence, connected with spirit and can bring about the teachings and the practices to come through them. And only through a place of trust can you really truly tap into these teachings of other people and these teachings that people want to share. And and through that trust, you will grow, you will expand, you will be able to eat the delicious wisdom that comes through.
It's really beautiful. And then you took him to this healing temple of dance and worship and singing and connecting with selflessness energies of this community. Why did you choose this healing temple for him?
This connection of community as a healing attribute towards this person's soul is what was felt that in this past life, in connection with human beings, not in a place of any selfish wants through oneself or one's ego, but through a selfless being that has an open heart and only sees the inner child of this playful dance that invites spirit to come into your life and to move through you and to then connect with nature is something that I felt that Jordan needs and to feel and to hear and to see again.
Thank you for doing it. It's really beautiful. Is there anything else you would you like to show Jordan today that will help him
Um,
heal?
at this moment, no.
Thank you so much. He wanted some healing for his skin. Can you share with me what's the cause of his skin um, issues that he's carrying this life?
The skin, the skin comes from a troubled mind. When one lets thoughts become repetitive in a pattern, you will begin to digest it in your dream state, in your subconscious mind. And through that energy, if not released before bed, I
Mhm.
recommend Jordan to meditate and create a dream journal that will help him in his dream state. And that would help a lot with the conditions with his skin. So therefore, you won't have to process it through his body while he's sleeping.
Okay. What are the, um, can you tell me from his subconscious, what is the overload that is happening there, that is repetitive thoughts that are coming up for him?
Overload would be in a place of um, yeah, in believing yourself. You have to believe in yourself, right? And and to believe in yourself is to give yourself a bit of trust and trusting in your process and what you're going through. And if you keep thinking and thoughts that aren't serving and that are in a path that isn't in the least resistance, but is in a path that is only allowing you to feel in those blockages, and you go into those blockages and you feel into it, that's not going to help. And that happens in your life through relationships, through times of with money, through times with um, you know, with yourself and like what you put into your body. Your diet is good. You've been eating a lot of greens, a lot of soups, no processed foods, all organic. That's great. But now's the time for the mind to be at ease. So when you're in a wake state, you can consciously use that energy to then again set that intention to grow this tree and this birthing and this the this this healing tree of harmony.
Mhm. How this, can you give me an example how this healing tree of harmony can manifest in his life? What way?
And the daily practice of meditation of seeing that, witnessing that, seeing that tree, being with that tree, just taking a couple breaths, close your eyes and see that tree in front of you, being able to touch that tree, and then feeling those roots sink out and down into your feet, allowing that connection to be met and allowing it to serve you to be then connected again to the beings that are observing you and witnessing you as as you made that intention with them to grow this tree.
Yeah, beautiful. Can we, I would like to connect with few of the beings that they mentioned. The first being that we saw was the being that was um, witnessing this creation, and also maybe the being that created the asteroid. Is that correct?
Hmm.
Okay. Can may I speak with that being, please?
Speaking,
Hello, thank you. What may I call you?
ancient one.
Ancient One. Thank you so much for coming forward. Um, I wonder, can you share with me about yourself um, and how you were creating this asteroid?
This asteroid was devised through uh, chemical properties within our planet that allow us to create this life form that encapsulated more life within life. And through a time lapse will these life forms not only flourish to the death of its previous generation, but through that death of the previous generation, give it soil, nutrients to the soil to birth in the next generation. And this was, in essence, a divine will of who we serve to then bring forth evolution of what is the soul consciousness.
Beautiful. So that was the setting of the earth that we live on.
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. And what planet are you from that you created that asteroid from?
Sirius.
Mm-hmm.
And in the star system of Sirius,
Mm-hmm.
there is uh, there is a planet that is great and huge. It's very green, and we bring sanctuary there. Our sanctuary is there.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So you created it from a planet within the constellation Sirius, and you sent it to meet the Earth, directed it here so it can start the evolution to create a soul.
Correct.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much for doing it. Um, can you share with me more about the creation of the first person that was here? Because we saw a little bit of it today. Um, can you tell me more about how the first person was created?
The first person was created by giving our own sacrament of our own bodies. So the reason why as an ancient one, I would give myself, but then by giving myself, I leave my soul. I leave my body and have my soul leave my body. So that, but as a guardian towards this earth, to and who I answer to within the order of the hierarchy of the beings of ancient ones, I now like still remain as essence with the earth, but now as a guiding light, as like in essence an angel. And but by giving my body and allowing it to sink and again sink into the earth and die and decompose and then rebirth, I brought forth the first soul on this planet that was capable, because all planets and all everything, even the asteroid itself, had a soul. Even that little amoeba him had a soul.
Mm-hmm.
But now I gave him the capabilities to begin furthering their journey as a soul and the capacity of what they can take on and what they can share and what they can teach and generate and help create on a collective field of a collective soul.
Beautiful. There was this moment that Jordan was sharing about the different colors of communication and then this green emerald light. That can you elaborate what's the significance of that light and what's the information behind it? Why it was green?
Green is the color that allows a resonance of life to have that expansion, that growth. And the emerald green is like the royalty of this bestowment of allowing life to then flourish on this planet. So as that as the intention, um, and given to the liquid form beings of this original earth, and how that was able to translate into their consciousness to create from a heart-centered place in their soul. And through time and time, that soul will then grow and but yet be anchored to this emerald green energy that helps it remember the the what would be like the mission statement or the vision of what this planet is and what the planet is for its on a collective species or a collective soul level, a collective conscious soul, that this is the intention of this planet is to come from this place that is to help grow and generate and create and expand one's own horizons from the mysteries of the unknown to come here and then impact and then to create together. It's only an anchor to keep them grounded.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. And then you showed the creation of both the more masculine and feminine bodies at once. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay. So the first person were created together, the man and the woman.
Correct.
How that was created? Was it something that, can you elaborate about how those bodies came to be exist?
By breathing fire and air into the ground and decomposing my own body into the alchemy of this land, and then the water to then bring grasping the emotional energetics of this being. And I created two beings, one masculine, one feminine, only because they haven't quite made it to the essence of like a highly developed being like the planet, like the plants, where plants can be both or change into either or. And just as they will learn from the plants, like they give to the tree, so to have we bestow that wisdom upon them through the trees and the plants by studying them. And because we don't have a gender, we're morphic with our own. We're neither masculine nor feminine. We came to a completion within our soul to understand that we're one and the same and have connected into that way. And our wish in observing and witnessing Jordan and this being to create again in this tree with this intention to create this tree with a declaration of balancing out the feminine and the masculine of this, not just themselves, but of this world,
Hmm.
of and truly allow them to become just as the ancient ones metamorphically evolved into knowing that no gender separates any being within your body or within your soul, and truly within your soul.
Wow, that's really beautiful. And then you mentioned that the woman was like connecting more with the dark, with the night, and really fully awakened and alive in that. And as the masculine was more during the day, and there was this story of this jealousy and hurt and pain and separation. Can you maybe tell in your ways the story that you observed from your side of what was happening there as like original, um, I would say maybe trauma that happened?
It is always the beginning of the primal essence of one's individual, and they had to discover their own primal essence, and that comes from a place of our rootedness. So whether we feel hungry or if we feel, the sense of security, even sex is a very primal energy.
Hmm.
And and by witnessing their connection in their body, also to this sexual energy arise this primal energy, and whether they could find endurance in this energy, being outlandish or um, pushing one away is definitely in essence with something that we too in our previous beings of the ancient ones and before what we are, before we were what we are, we too had to go through a same sort of initiation to learn to marriage oneself, to marriage one's own polar opposite of their own night to their day. Through finding that balance, that interaction is a practice. And it was a remembrance of that practice, of what that is, and how you can grow in that place with that interaction.
Beautiful. Wow, really beautiful. Thank you so much. Now, I'd like for you to assist Jordan and to give him some answer for his questions if that's appropriate. Okay,
Yes.
thank you so much. So I know he's wanting to kind of find more purpose in his life right now with his finding his work, his service, and feel more grounded, fully trusting his path. Can you share with me more about his purpose and what he's here to serve and how to do it?
Jordan is in essence a being of love, um, to remembering his remembrance is to come from that place and to pray to the loving God, pray to the living being that's higher beyond himself, that's higher beyond anybody in this realm, because it cannot be seen in this dimension. This love has to be felt within him in order to allow this trueness of all of his passionate pursuits to come through. And he wants to heal, he wants to be able to help those in need, those in tribe, those that are too wanting the same intention, the same sense of mission on this earth. And when your families will gather, and they will, you'll be able to then generate from one's own source, from one's own channel to tap in with divinity, and then generate that energy together to amplify the community around you. And to being placed in different spaces and different places allows momentum and growth and witnessing all of these people in all of their ways and how it is to be in connection with community. And at the time being, you are in the right place for the moment, and until the time is that I allow that door to open up, or whether you step into Jordan steps into that doorway to see into the next coming adventure or the next pathway. It is there, it is coming. Just trust and believe in yourself and what you're doing.
Beautiful.
No,
Okay, so you just encourage him to just connect with me more with his heart, to trust that he's in the right place until the next doorway, next events will call him to go on his next adventure. That's what I'm hearing. And
correct.
okay, so I'm also wondering regarding his relationship that he's developing. Would you like to share with him about that?
In that relationship, you cannot. You have to allow uh, a sense of centeredness in your heart, and being able to know where you stand and where you can meet, and with what resources you have, and seeing where you can use um, that investment to make it able to have fruits fruition to come through, and gifts, and she also has magical powers. And through a place of patience, whether you choose to continue in that path, absolutely, and trust in it, absolutely. But also know that you can live with or without um, anyone that you choose. You'll be okay. You will open up the doors. We will open up the doors no matter what. And the portals for you to step into it. And whether you step into it, a portal that has with her along with it, then um, I, I just want you to trust it. I want you to trust the energetics of where you're going in this place and stepping into it with confidence that you're okay and that you're guided and that in bottom line of what you're representing is that emerald light of unconditional love.
Yeah, beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. Can you do a body scan on him to see if there's any more healing available for him in his body?
Okay?
And tell me what do you find?
Find in the pelvis, allowing the energy to circulate and move, um, bringing lubricant towards the hips and the hip sockets, allowing this energy to then guide and flow down the right ankle and just circulate around the ankle joints, around the knee joints, around the elbow joints, and, and then yeah, I feel a lot of pumping out toxins out of the organs, out of the stomach, feel out of the liver, the kidneys, pumping healthy heart, blood, breathing in fresh air, and exhaling, letting go of what no longer serves, what thoughts no longer empower, what are disempowering you to emotionally. Only think thoughts that allow you to be able to go in the path of least resistance and to be in your channel, to be in your source energy.
Beautiful. What thought forms can you clear from him that doesn't serve him, beliefs, patterns that he doesn't need anymore?
Um, any sense of addiction that's addiction towards uh, I, I recommend lessening on the marijuana and because been smoking spliffs,
Mhm.
putting tobacco with marijuana, and that's not necessarily what you want right now. And allowing it to let that go, and drinking on the weekends has been drinking on the weekends,
Mm-hmm.
and that's just not needed. I
Okay.
know it's a ritual for him, but at the same time, it's an old ritual on
Okay.
drinking on a Friday night to let that go at karaoke bar. You can go to karaoke and sing on stage without having a couple beers,
Mm-hmm.
and that is capable in your being. And if you want to go out, then go out in your own essence, in your own joy, in your own fun, and go out to make yourself laugh, not to make others laugh, but to make yourself laugh at the life that you're living in a place of joy and just exuberant bliss.
Mm, that's beautiful. Thank you for sharing this. Can you share with me? Let's go to the origin of his addiction to tobacco so we can clear that from the root. So it will be very easy for him to clear that addiction. What's
Mhm.
the addictions attached to?
It may, hmm, it's attached to the lungs, and lungs attached to a sense of grief, and a grief of maybe this grief towards the bigger picture world,
Mm-hmm.
a grief towards like a bit of what has been happening in this world. I understand there's a lot of grief in it, and it comes from that grief. It triggers this emotional wanting of suppression through tobacco
Yeah.
mixed with marijuana, and um, allowing that to be known that you no longer have to cry. You don't have to be sad. You're perfect. You're healthy. You're happy, and you can be well if you choose to be well. And by choosing to be well, you choose the practice that you know, which is um, shifting that mind away from the grief, shifting the mind into a place of knowing your worth, knowing your body's worth, and it's priceless and it's loved. And we hire the higher ones want you to know that we're here for you. We're here to hold you and hold you through your process of letting go of things that no longer serve you. And to be mindful when doing it, to always call upon us in prayer, call upon us by sitting still, call upon us through reading or listening to a vibrant, um, a mindful, conscious um, book, or reading a book, or journaling, anything, dancing, just anything that will help move you through it. We're also there with you doing that too.
Yeah.
So know that you're not alone.
That's amazing. Beautiful. Thank you. Can you elevate those grief from him now, replace it with a knowing of this divine perfection that exists right now, this bigger picture, and also maybe program something that every time that he's wanting to smoke, there'll come something else to shift him his perspective about it, and he wouldn't
Mhm.
want it very easily, very naturally. He would be able to think about something else that will make him choose better actions. What that could be that will replace the desire to smoke.
To move your body, going for a run has been really good for him, and 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 it was, and if just keeping in the practice of doing that, running, and able to tap into your breath truly from a place of gratitude and being thankful that you can breathe, like how important that is,
Hmm.
um, for your body to realize and recognize the abilities of that breath.
Very good. So instead of have a moment where he's thinking that he would like to smoke maybe a spliff, he can change it with a deep breath and with a gratitude for the breath and his wellness.
Hmm.
Good, beautiful. And maybe doing some physical practice and running more. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Um, very good. Can you check if there's any cords attached to him?
Yes.
Thank you. Did you find cords?
I have found cards
What are they connected to? And can you start clear them?
connected to the heart. I'm going to clear them. I'm going to pull it out from its root, out of my heart. And just keep pulling it, and just feeling all of it tearing away, but all as one piece. I'm not allowing it to stay in my being anymore. And I declare to release this to the earth, give it back to whence it came. I give these cords back to those people that maybe have that cord with me, and allow myself to show up in my power with my sacred circle,
Beautiful.
protecting me in my bubble.
Mm-hmm.
And my field is like a Merkaba of diamond light,
Mm-hmm.
and I am able to protect myself and know my worth through having that sense of respect for my own energy. And that energy is, again, aligned with the emerald green, unconditional love, and to be with that, to
Mm.
with that with others.
Beautiful. What was the cord attached to from the other side, the one that was connected to the heart?
Oh, what was that? It was within
Hmm. Good. Very good. And what was the energy that it attached to? What was the effect of this cord on Jordan's energy?
it was affecting this emotional wave of energy of like allowing one to feel able to swim and to not feel turbulent during times when it does feel turbulence, and allows a steady stream to allow this river to then flow and to align in your own practice, and to remember himself that the self-love is more important, and that self-trust in oneself of my love is the most important love you can possibly show to any human, is to show it to yourself and to marry yourself.
Beautiful. So I'd like to fill up those places that this cord was attached to with this highest, purest light energies and unconditional love. Tell me when it's
Mm,
all full.
mm, mm, mm. It's complete.
Thank you so much. Is there any other cords attached to Jordan? May I speak with the higher self, please?
And
Is there any cords?
mm, cutting the cords. Not this moment, no.
Good. Thank you. Thank you so much. Can you do another scan for me if there's any entities in Jordan's body or around him that are affecting him?
And his aura, they're little blotches.
Okay. Can I would like to invite the angels to clear them now, to throw a net of light and pull them out and tell me if
Mm.
they're all gone or if there's anything else need to be done.
It's complete.
Thank you so much. Is there any other upgrades, any other healing, any other downloads would you like to give Jordan now?
The upgrade and one's light. I want to upgrade his light energy. I want to upgrade the practice of Yeshua, Jesus Christ energy. Resonate with that more. Read into what beautiful books of the esoteric Jesus is. Not like more of the read into like that mainstream Bible, but like find and search out the essence with. We came up with Mary Magdalene and Jesus Christ,
Hmm.
and follow in that practice of what that relationship is and what that may be for you, and how metaphorically you can marry yourself as Jesus Christ and Mary Magdalene.
Hmm. Beautiful. Is there any message from Yeshua today?
Not at this moment, no.
Okay, thank you so much. Is there any message from Mary Magdalene?
Uh, That She loves me, she sees me, and that she holds me dear, and that um, believe in the feminine that I am.
Beautiful. Thank you. Anything else would you like to share, Mary?
And, uh, no, not at this moment.
Thank you so much. Very good. You're doing a very wonderful job. Thank you for this healing. Thank you for those beautiful stories and information that you shared with him today. I feel that something he would like to understand more, maybe that still can be elaborated, is a little bit more about his job, how to create his own living in finance and bring. Um, can you elaborate what is his ways, what he can learn more in order to do it, what he can start doing in order to do it?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Well, and in this place of where you're at right now, um, I feel like the investment is really important for Jordan to understand is how in using your money is like investing your time with spirit. And if you invest your time and money into a container where that is in essence it's it's truth. When you invest in your truth and when you know it's truth is I will speak it to you that you will hear it from me that this is true, that you will want to grow in that place. So um, there's a good amount of money of like that will be coming in, and I want you to see that whether you want to build land, buy a little lot of land and build there, or and create a community where we build together, then it can be possible. We can do something with this, and or invest into something with someone that knows how to invest money to further the extent of the abundance that can come in.
Yeah, that's beautiful. He wanted to know about this, where to invest money. He had this question. Can you tell him more about that today?
Um,
How to do smart investment?
at at this moment, you do not know the right person at this moment. Um, at this moment, no.
Okay. So it's something that might be available for him in the future to understand more about how to invest the money.
Mm,
Okay,
yes.
good. Very good. Anything else that you'd like to share that will help Jordan in his evolution, spiritual path, and service for all?
No, he is complete for now.
Thank you so much. Is there any messages would you like to give me, or any messages would you like to give for the collective today?
Mm, at this moment, no.
Okay, wonderful. So are we complete for today?
That we are.
Okay, that's really wonderful. Thank you so much. It was really a pleasure to work with you. What a beautiful session. I'd like to thank you. And you can receive now to where you belong. And I'd like that consciousness of Jordan to start to integrate back into his body, replacing all the other parts we were speaking to.
Mm.
Such a wonderful, beautiful information, such a beautiful session. And I'd like to remind Jordan that the key word